All right, we're recording. Hey, howdy, hey! This is Phineas, or the one and only Phineas. I think you'll know as me as Phineas at this point. On the very seventh episode, a very special guest. Our guest, who are you?
Yo guys, it's Awesome A. Crazy guy.
Whoa,
Awesome.
wild.
Cool. Sick.
What are you, some cartoon reviewer?
Yeah, so basically guys, I talk about lots of like Marvel movies,
Oh
and
wow.
like I really like talk about like Citizen Kane and like the good
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely. We all. It's so funny because it's like actually at film school, I don't think Citizen Kane had that actual good of a reception amongst film ma- film majors, which is so funny. My
I haven't
audience, I
even
think
watched Citizen Kane.
they're
I
they're literally no joke. We watched it for like one of our classes, and part of the class jokingly started calling themselves after the Citizen Kane Hate Club.
That's
Because
awesome.
it's fun when like the classics of cinema. I don't know, modern filmmakers are weird. I think Gen Z as a filmmaking group has yet to find our identity.
We all know that Paddington 2 is way better than Citizen Kane.
I actually have
But
yet to watch Paddington 2, but I love the first one.
you have yet to watch Paddington 2?
I
Oh
know.
my
It I
god.
it's on
Everything about that movie is perfect.
it's on the watch list. I think it's actually like probably gonna be a genius film when I actually get around to watching it. I love Paddington so much as a character and stuff, and the first Paddington
Yeah.
movie is like the best fish out of is like it taught me what I think like is how fish out of water movies are supposed to be done. Because
Yeah.
we both like watch a lot of animated films. You've
Mhm.
noticed how a lot of them always are like there's some fish out of water who's adapted to the world. I think the best two fish
Lego
out of
Movie.
yeah, Lego
Like
movie's
I,
so good.
yeah.
The best fish out of water movies I think have the world learning from the main character instead of the main character learning from the world. Like
Oh,
Paddington, Elf. Oh my gosh, I love it. I think Elf's a masterpiece.
yeah. Oh, this is the best podcast ever. Yeah, every opinion of yours is a W so far,
I
except for
I'm
the fact you haven't watched Paddington 2.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm putting on my letterbox watch list right now. Are you happy?
Yeah, I hate that every time I have to. I tell my parents, "You guys should watch Paddington too," and they're like, "Okay." I'm like, "No, you don't get it. You have to. It's the best movie ever made." And I hate that they don't think it is because they haven't seen it yet, and they just think it's like some dumb Paddington kids movie. Like, yes, it's a kids movie, but it's the best movie ever made. Also, so
Well,
I
so
need to try
the
to get them.
Well, so the thing within like a lot of animated films, right? So like I've tried to show my parents like plenty of films that are animated, and very frequently I just think that they don't get it if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, like show them Mitchell vs. the Machines because I'm like, hey guys, I'm a film major who went off to college. This movie is relatable for me. He he. And my parents didn't get why I liked it. My mom was like, of
That
course you like
movie.
it. It talks about YouTube.
That movie was made for you.
It Um, I I don't. A lot of my friends keep like fictional character like kin lists. I don't do
Mhm.
that, but like Katie's definitely on the list of like characters that I felt seen in for like main characters on films. That oh
Yeah.
my gosh, just everything about that movie. That is like my comfort movie. It's so smart.
I love the animation and it's like it gives me like fall. Like it just has such a fall vibe to
For a
me.
film that came out like in spring in like May and a May April season, oh absolutely. And like I don't know. It's very going off to college for the first time. The feeling like we didn't road trip. Or my family, um, when I first went to college, right? It was 2020. You know, the cursed year.
Mhm.
Um, and so my brother did not go on the road trip because he would not fit in the car because we packed so much stuff. And
Yeah.
then my family couldn't even go into the building and move me in because that was the pandemic rules at my school.
Mhm.
Second time though, they decided to break the rules and move me in by force.
Yes.
It was a funny moment.
Wait, so you're in a university, right?
I am.
Okay. Cuz like I was talking to one of my friends earlier today and I was like, "Are you in your dorm?" And they're like, "No, that's not this is a college. I go to like a college where, I go for a few hours and then go home."
Yeah. No,
And I was like, "Oh."
my younger brother goes to a community college right now, but he like lives on the campus there.
Mhm.
But no, yeah, no, I don't mind saying the state that I'm in. I go to the same school that Slime Skull went to, if you know who that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, same college as him. He lives in the same town, I think, that I do, and I think a friend of mine saw him outside the building a few days ago.
get him on the podcast.
I mean, that's an eventual plan. Like, he went to my college, so it's like, it's not a hard stretch. There's some people where it comes to like going to the podcast where it's like, I could never get them.
Yeah.
But like, I'm slowly figuring out that I can like slowly build up momentum in like the areas and the people that I get, you know?
Yeah, and like with podcasts, like people like I don't know want to be in podcasts,
Hmm.
like because I was hosting a podcast and I got guests, and like I was waiting for the day somebody would get me in one. I'm like, come, I am the perfect guest. I can keep, I talk a lot, and you probably relate to that. But and I got in one, but like this dude was not trying at all. It like
Oh
that really
no.
sucks for somebody who has like made podcasts before and kind of started doing it, where I was like trying not to like give up critiques. I'm like, dude, you have not mentioned one thing about me, which is fine. I don't need to be the center of attention, but like, can we have this like equal? Like, it was just him
Yeah.
telling me about his channel. I was like, is this an introduction to you? And
See,
let's be clear, I'm the guest.
yeah, no. The way that I view like podcast hosting, in the whole thing, I always view it as a thing where it's like you're kind of just hosting someone at their as if they're at your place. Like
Yeah,
I love hosting like friends at like my apartment and stuff.
yeah,
And it's just like you're being a good host for them. You're talking to them, trying to channel good
yeah,
conversations that they can talk about and stuff.
yeah.
Um, but like, and then there's some people where it's like, what? Like, I think there's like two genres of podcasts, like
Hmm.
friend podcasts, where it's just a group of friends colliding together to talk about things, and like that's cool. But the whole thing for me is it's like I enjoy the way to just meet new people because you get to see a new face every single time within it. I nearly had one repeat guest, but that audio was lost for that episode. And the thing
Uh,
is, I
I
only
hate
do
when
this
that
podcast
happens.
like monthly at this point because it's just busy schedules, and it's also good content to just post when I'm not able to work on videos.
Yeah, you don't want it to
Because
take over everything.
honestly, though, like it's gonna be weird because this is gonna be one of my first month periods where there's been a gap in video essays,
Hmm.
but it's fine. I'll get back into the thrill of things. I nearly attempted a video on Coraline, but I couldn't get through the script. You know,
Yeah, that's the struggle with me lately. I just cannot think of anything to say about anything. And
well,
that was not happening to me when I was starting doing movie videos.
so what I like about your movie videos, by the way, is you often like take topics and stuff within them. Like I
Yeah.
liked your one on crossover movies. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy how many of those have emerged in the past few years. By the way,
Yeah.
um, because it's like I agreed with most of your takes. I wasn't a big Chip and Dale fan, but I appreciated it for what it was.
Yeah.
I thought it tried a little more than like other movies within that field. It tried better than Space Jam 2 did.
Yeah, and with that video, what happens with my videos is like I say like so much where I'm like sometimes I'll like either straight up lie or just like like, oh, this is how I'm feeling now, but then in a month I'm like, wait, everything I said in that video, I do not like think now. Like I change my opinions up so much and it just makes me like hate it, but like it's like at the end of the day you just got to, say what you want, and then if you change your mind later or whatever,
I mean,
then I can repeat it or just whatever, forget about it. But like I said way too much good about Chip and Dale. I was way too nice to that movie because like recently I've watched it, like, wait a minute, I gave this too much of a pass. This is boring.
no, my whole thing, right, is I loved that. I love like Andy Samberg and John Mulaney are awesome, but they
Yeah.
did some of the worst voice acting jobs I've ever seen in an animated film. Like I put it on the director instead of the actors at that point because the whole thing with celebrity voice actors, right, is
Yeah.
I don't usually blame the celebrities when it's bad because it's like I don't know. I think that voice acting and actual acting is closer than people give it credit for sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, which is why Chris Pratt Mario is gonna be hilarious.
I cannot wait for that movie.
Dude, that
Just
trailer
to see the
was
Twitter outbreak. It's gonna be all month. It's just gonna be talking about that movie.
Dude, that trailer was so good for what I was expecting and stuff. Like, do you yield? Like it felt so epic, especially by like
Yeah.
illumination standards of all things.
It felt like a video game. And like it just yeah, it felt like the video games, which is a good thing.
Well, the thing too that I've noticed, I think illumination films tend to have like the worst stakes out of any of the major studios.
Yeah.
Like, it never feels like super like invested. It's usually more like, gosh, it's so hard to describe any of the like conflicts in those movies.
Yeah,
Um,
and what they also do is it kind of feel like the bad guys always feel like a parody, which kind
yeah,
of works. But it also like if you're going for this action movie and your main character is like only dumb and not like a mix of like Joker where he's like kind of has jokes but is also kind of scary. It's very hard to root for the main character at
I
that point.
I think the villain that lost me for them and the true moment for me was Balthazar Brat existing. Like,
Yeah.
no shade towards Trey Parker, but like that's one of the most forgettable villains ever. There's a few exceptions I think for like Illumination's track record. I unironically think Lorax is a lot of fun and stuff, even within how
Yeah.
messy it is. And then like also, not gonna lie, I respect both of the Sing movies and like Sing 2 a lot.
Yeah, with Sing for me, it's like kind of becoming a guilty pleasure. Like I know I've probably like this is another thing with my opinions changing. I know I've probably said, "Oh, screw Sing," but I have found myself like rewatching that movie and the second one for no reason, just because it's like something easy to turn on and watch.
Well, I think the thing within that too on the second movie is I think that the second movie's like actual climax is one of the best things Illumination's
Yeah.
ever put and stuff. Like I rewatch it's so funny because I don't care about the characters much, but I really love like the Johnny climax in the second movie is actually
Mhm.
a really epic battle, as awkward as it is at points and stuff. And then I honestly I feel like with the Sing movies that I feel like that there's a little more of a heart in those that people undersell within it.
Yeah.
Like better than Secret Life of Pets. Oh gosh, better than Secret Life of Pets. Um,
Like name one thing that happens in that movie other than like them being a dog. Yeah.
Toy Story. Toy Story happens.
Yeah.
Um, I don't normally like to be like, oh, this is ripping this off, but it's blatantly it just feels like that dynamic. None of
Yeah.
the actors really feel like they like fit within it. Nothing's memorable about it. And it's still not the worst Illumination film. The worst Illumination film for me is The Grinch.
Hmm.
Is that a hot take? I think
Huh. I don't know. I thought it was cute, like kind of wholesome,
I
but like you're valid.
no, you're valid. Um, I my whole thing with the film is it's the most corporate feeling Christmas movie ever. Like
Yeah.
I've watched it once in theaters, forgot about it pretty much, and then I watched it again when I did like a 25 films a Christmas thing in 2020, which was a fun while thing to do. And I think it holds the honor of being one of the only films that I've given like a half star to ever. Which is a
Oh.
which is a score that I like kind of hold out on unless a film really deserves it.
Yeah.
But like for me, the whole thing is the kid character sucks so much. I forgot everything about who she is. Um,
Yeah,
I
she was way too like nice. It was unrealistic.
I think
She
Illumination writes child characters weird in general.
Yeah.
Um, aside from the three girls in Despicable Me, they're lovely.
Yeah.
Um, but like no, so there's that exists within the Grinch. I think within it, Benedict Cumberbatch is like gives a pretty boring performance as him, and the whole thing like just feels so shallow and stuff. And I had to put it on like 1.5 speed when I watched it again, which is something that I don't normally do for movies, but I did it for the Grinch because sometimes movies deserve to be watched a little faster.
Yeah. I think my biggest issue is like they have like that song with what is it? Forgot his name.
Uh,
Did Tyler the Creator do a
I
song?
think
I think
so. That my friend
yeah,
was saying
yeah.
that was cool about it.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool, and I like that part. But like, there's this like in the song, they're like, I think he sings like a cover of like "You're a Mean One," and
You're
he's
a
like,
mean
"You
one.
got your teeth are gross, and you have maggots in your teeth." This
Yeah.
Grinch has pearly whites,
Oh
like
yeah.
perfect straight Instagram filter teeth, and it's like that, and that just kind of shows how much they do not care about this character. Like they,
It's
in an attempt to make him at least feel a little ugly or musty, he
well,
was
it
way
feels
too like
so
just
sanitized.
yeah.
Like all the memes were like, "Wow, the Grinch is so relatable," and the whole thing is, I'm in the camp right where I don't even like the Jim Carrey version much. I gave that like 2 stars out of 10, which is pretty like low. It was like a low placing film in the whole like Christmas like ranking. But at least like Jim Carrey is a genius actor and he has fun with everything that he does. That
Yeah,
man literally is gold on every film. Like my favorite of his, by the way, is The Truman Show. That film's amazing.
obviously, yeah. I mean,
I haven't seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I hear that's good, but like, dude, there's nothing that'll beat The Truman Show for me for like him. That's probably a film in my
yeah,
top 10 of all time.
yeah, that's a really good movie. I those are that's one of those movies that like you really get like immersed into. Like there's like
Yeah,
movies where like you like throw your laptop down. Like whenever you like watch a bad movie, you're like getting a snack. You're like,
yep.
But this is one of those movies that like if I'm getting a snack, I have to hurry. Like I'm like, jumping right back into this.
Honestly, though,
This got me hooked.
I have such a respect for it and stuff, and it's like it honestly invented it honestly invented gaslighting. Um,
Yeah,
but like it's so crazy how much that film like actually like stood even nowadays and stuff. And it's just Truman's such a sweet person. Does not deserve a single thing he goes through. That poor man.
yeah.
I'm curious, are you in the camp that thinks that his best friend secretly did like him also, or are you in the camp that thinks that Marlon was fully in on the act? Cuz I I've read a lot of theories about how like his best friend Marlon's like not as like in on the whole like ruse with it, and like he does lie, but I actually like I don't know. I actually think he cares about him from the theories.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out. I think I forgot. Wait. I think I forgot who Marlon is.
That's the best friend, the dude who just runs around with a 6 pack of beer.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're
I feel
you're
like maybe he was in. I don't know.
you're valid. I'm proud of you. Um, that movie though is like the performances are so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I think from the get go, it's such a a good concept for
Oh
a movie.
yeah, it's absolutely unique, and I love that about it.
It's like one of those movies where you like watch and you're like, whoa, why hasn't anybody like thought of this yet? Like this is like genius.
Here's the concept though, right? Like, at some point that Hollywood can be like, we're gonna make a Truman Show 2 for like no good reason. I think the best
Yeah.
way to handle a Truman Show 2, ready for this? A
Uh huh.
mockumentary, which is like do it 30 years later and do a checking back up on Truman and stuff on his life and like going into like everything that happened like after the show in the real world as like a mockumentary. I think that would
Oh,
be a
that would be
really fun way to
awesome.
take that.
Or they could like yeah, or like they could like add a new person and like maybe I don't know.
Yeah, no, honestly,
Maybe he goes back and tries to save this dude. That would be
I
interesting.
I think a fun concept within it like is if someone else like attempts doing this like reality shows or something like because reality shows since the movie came out only like got bigger. I don't know if how you are, but I'm a massive fan of like Survivor. Um,
Yeah, my parents watch that all the time.
it's um it's not even a guilty pleasure for me. Like my dad's like, oh, reality shows are like garbage, but like Survivor's my exception. It's like I love that. Oh my gosh, I have such a passionate love for it. But like shows like Big Brother is all about being on camera 24/7, which is insane. No, but one of the other Jim Carrey highlights of his career is I love him in the Sonic movies.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
don't know.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't yeah, I think I liked him. I think he could have been a little less over the top, but I think that's what makes him Jim Carrey, so that might be a hot take.
My, no, that's fair. My hot take though is I think the first film is just okay for the Sonic movies, And I
Yeah.
initially wasn't that big on the second Sonic movie, but on a rewatch, I got way more into it than I did on the first watch.
The second movie is just all I love all the scenes. It looks so cool.
It's honestly,
I think it
it's
really embraced like the cool look of it and like the powers they have and the speed and it's like cool.
I. But here's the other confession, right? I've never played like a non-Olympics Sonic game.
Yeah. Well, I've never played Sonic.
Yeah, no. It's so funny though, because like it's such like a cultural phenomenon in so many like ways. But like I hear everyone talking about it. I just have not touched franchise.
Yeah.
And like I don't think I'm gonna, to be completely honest. No offense to Sonic, but it's just like it's not my thing, to be honest.
Like there are it's one of those things that like I wish I liked just
I
because I feel like
know.
it could be cool to like it and be part of that community.
My game franchise was I got into all. I've been playing. Wait, did you played Pokemon growing up and stuff, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah, what'd you say?
Have you played Pokemon?
Yeah, I played Pokemon on, like my DS. Like, I think that was like one of the first games I've
Dude,
ever touched.
the DS was such a console. Was such a console. I got like a DSi in like 2011, and oh my gosh,
Yeah, I want to go back to the feeling of playing the DS for the first time. I feel
my
like there's nothing that can top that. It will
well, it's
never
so
be the
cool
same.
with the dual screens. Like I still remember my first like 4 games. Of course, a good chunk of my first games were like licensed games because I had my parents got me like Shrek's Carnival Craze,
Oh, I did. I had a Shrek game on the DS where I don't know what it was called. I think it was like the game based off the movie.
Valid. Um, no, there was that. We also had like one of the Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots, which was fun. I I played Nicktoons Unite so much on my cousin's GameCube.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Um, I'm trying to think of like what else I've like been, what else, because like growing up with games, right? I don't know. I wasn't as much of a gamer as like some people were.
Yeah.
But like I did enjoy them. Oh, Lego games. We had Lego Batman.
Oh yeah. I can play games for like 30 minutes and then I'm get bored. Which like with a lot of gamers like my brother, they play games for like 6 hours and don't
Oh,
get bored, and I
yeah.
just
No,
don't understand it.
I can't understand it either. I'm the kind of person where it's like I don't think I can do a single task often for too long and stuff. Like even
Yeah.
in a lot of the voice calls that I poke into, it's become an ongoing joke for me that I poke into friends' calls for like 5 minutes and then peace out for a second to think about something else. Um,
Yeah.
not ha- this podcasts are fun though because it's like a much longer form conversation and it feels like I'm being productive too, which is fun.
Me with when I jump in VCs, I can't leave. It's like so hard for me to try to get to a stopping point where I could leave. I'm like even when I was in my VC the other day on my server, I was like it was like such a time I was like, how am I gonna leave this? It's like 3 a.m. I need to leave this. I don't know how to.
No, so that's funny because I think it was the first time we ever were in a VC together where you like randomly sent me an invite to the server and I poked in and then it was like everyone was like talking and I was like okay because I get quieter in group situations. Like I'm way more extroverted one on one than I am with like a swarm of 5 people around me,
Yeah.
which like I have more to say in these situations.
I can't talk in groups. I just yeah, either I say too much or too little. I just
No, I get that so much too and
or I'll make
stuff.
everything awkward and like or I'll like say a joke and it doesn't hit right and everybody goes quiet. I'm like, okay, okay. And like everybody says like jokes similar to it and everybody's like laughing their booty off and I'm like, "Come on, guys. I said the same thing. You guys gave me the silent treatment. You acted like I was dumb. I am sick of this. I'm done with group friends." And
Yeah,
that
no, I've struggled for like getting friend groups until like college. I've got like one that's pretty chill at my college, but like growing up and stuff, friend groups is always like I was a theater kid in high
Hmm.
school. And theater kids are really dramatic as heck on like everything because it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what's the tea? What's the gossip?" And it's like no one needs gossip in the world. Like one of the worst things to talk about is like talking about like other people, and that's what I think like people love to do way too much.
Yeah, and it sometimes bites you in the butt.
Yeah,
I keep saying butt today and booty. I don't know
it,
what. I watch too much Illumination movies.
you're valid, dude. Those films are like it's so crazy how popular they are and stuff too. Because it's like I think it recently with Minions 2, Despicable Me is becoming like now the highest grossing animated franchise of all time.
Yeah, that's insane. I wish I created the minions. I know it's like instant money hack there.
They'd be easy to write for. Like you just be like you these do they I'm curious in the scripts, right? Do they like have the actual translation of what the minions are saying when they're saying it in the scripts, and then just the actor goes ba 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 ba, or I don't know what minions do. I oh gosh.
Yeah, as much as I just the Pixar guy to the end, but I feel like it would be fun to write for Illumination,
It
or at least
honestly
like work
would.
for Illumination, like just animate because it's like they are fun, but like
Yeah.
there's I feel like they're too fun, whereas like like companies like Pixar, like they have some fun, but then they get a little emotional and they get into it, which Illumination does sometimes, but not enough to be like coined as good as Pixar.
Well, so the whole thing, so for animated movie studios, I feel like there's such like different tiers and stuff because like I don't know if you're this way because I know you do a lot of like animated movie things, but like I love going
Yeah,
through animation history and thinking about when each studio like had a thing because it's like it's so funny because through the 2000s it was like Pixar and DreamWorks, and honestly like Pixar was um and then Pixar kind of like is still doing things and doing well in the
yeah.
2010s, but they kind of like fall off a bit. And Disney picks up the slack for a little bit, and then Disney makes Wreck It Ralph 2, and that's one of the worst films. Um,
Yeah, I feel like animated movies are kind of hitting a weird point. I feel like I said, like some people have ran out of ideas. Like not everybody, but
yeah.
like
Well,
that. Like what's with like I don't. What was the last? I feel like The Bad Guys was the last good animated movie we got
The Bad Guys
this
was
year.
really solid. Oh, Turning Red was awesome too.
Yeah, but like then we have what is it? Hotel Transformania. The friggin' why am I drawing a blank? Super Pets.
Yeah,
What's the
Lightyear.
one that yeah, Lightyear. What's the one that looked like 2004 animation, I said? Well, it was like the Kung Fu one. It looked very low
Oh, Paws
budget.
of Fury.
Paws of Fury. It's like or like Pinocchio, like we are hitting just the worst point right now.
I think though, like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is probably going to be the nice, cool arts film. But it's interesting because I think 2022. First of all, I've not been a big fan of a lot of the films that have been released this year. To be honest, I've seen 16 of them so far, and it's trending lower on average compared to like last year.
Yeah.
But the whole thing for me too within it is this is one of the first years ever where we kind of have an eclipse of so many franchises getting like releases. Like there was a new
Mhm.
Ice Age film that was bad.
Yeah.
There's a new Hotel Transylvania film. There was a new Despicable Me film. There's gonna be a new Shrek franchise film with the new Puss
Yeah.
in Boots. There was a new Toy Story film.
Yeah.
It's like we've gotten like major films in like every studio's like main franchise.
And I was telling my dad this the other day, but I do think like with like everything going to like streaming services
Servers,
and
yeah.
like server, I feel
Streaming
like it's
Minecraft
made them
SMPs.
yeah, it's made them like lazier.
Yeah.
Like with like like with the Darwin Wimpy Kid animated
Oh,
movie, like it feels like like since the streaming services, they're just trying to get out anything, just any content they can just splurge out so they have more viewers coming in. But like they don't even necessarily need to be good in their opinions. They just need to promote it good, and
what
it's
am I?
just
Yeah.
yeah,
No. Oh my gosh. No, Disney's been the big thing with this, I think, too. It's Disney and Warner Brothers who I think are like leading the pack on corporate like bad decisions at the moment and stuff with
yeah.
it in their franchises.
It
But
feels like they're not trying anymore.
okay, so you ready for one of my big hot takes, right? The
Feel it.
animated Diary Kid is worse than Long Haul.
I'm more of like a tie with them.
I
I
think
still feel like the animated one has a little more heart than the long haul.
I have a weird actual like the long haul, right? Like it's kind of for me a fun bad film, which is really weird. Like
Yeah.
I just think it's really hilarious watching like a train wreck like that. Meanwhile, the
Yeah, it's like
animated,
so bad it's good. Or
yeah.
like so bad it's just fun to make fun of.
Meanwhile, the animated film has like nothing going for it at like any point. Um,
Yeah. At least with the long haul, we got the not my Roderick memes. Like
we
at least
got
it offered some substance in pop culture.
yeah, we got that. We got honestly like within the film, it's interesting because like the director is the same director as like Roderick Rules and Dog Days, which is like one of the
Yeah.
wildest things to be the same director for two franchise film for that are so different from it in like every way. But it's like I think the actors are all really bad. Like the original cast of Diary Kids, incredible
Yeah,
and stuff.
perfect. Perfect.
Like
Rowley is
Je-
spot on. The
who?
actor. The actor Rowley is
I know he's so
Rowley is spot
sweet.
on. Just
Meanwhile, the
exactly
little
how I pictured it.
the little kid that we get in like Long Haul is like first of all Long Haul. Okay, wait. How long into the Diary Kid books did you read? Because like I've been reading them still to this day. It's kind of a guilty pleasure because most people my age don't go back and read their childhood like franchises new entries, but have been for the most part staying up to date on those. And
Yeah.
I actually like The Long Haul as a book. I think it's actually one of the more underrated books in the series because I think the idea in a book series of isolating like the family is actually really good.
Hmm.
And then Jeff Kinney did it like two other times with like Deep End. I don't know if you ever read that one. And The Getaway.
Yeah, I've read like every single one recently except for the wait no the
Big
basketball
Shot.
one. Yeah, I don't like sports either. I did not care for it. And
Um
I just recently got the loaded diaper book.
I'm gonna get around to reading that at some point because I it's like with a franchise like Diamond Kid, right? It's one of those
Hmm.
things where it's like I would love to write a movie in that franchise. Um,
Yeah.
did you see the fan film that was made for the Diamond Kid movies that the freshman
Yeah.
year?
I saw that. It was insane.
That was actually like the best Diamond Kid film since Dog Days.
Yeah. I feel like the animated one had so much potential to be like the Peanuts or the Captain Underpants, which is like what everybody's saying.
Oh,
I
totally.
feel like
They should have
I
given
feel
it a
like
blue
Jeff
sky.
Yeah, Jeff Kinney has just I feel like he doesn't think too hard about his things. He's more into making the books, so he doesn't really care about the extra stuff.
Yeah,
So he just kind of like puts it on. And that's what he said before that he's like I just write the books, you know. I have some say, but I just let them. And I think that's kind of like a bad idea with at least for the animated ones cuz those actually could be like really good just cuz I feel like it fits. And I
totally.
just feel like he's just not trying with it. And like recently he's stated that he's trying to do every book into an animated movie and I'm like,
Oh
"Come on.
gosh, yeah,
What I like quality over quantity. I'd rather have one really good Darren Wimpy Kid animated movie than 10 on some Disney Plus streaming service that won't be relevant in 10 years. At least the Darren Wimpy Kid animated movies made for it won't be relevant in
well,
10 years."
the animation style is also was like such a bad choice. I think in like every
Yeah.
single way. It's like I think the one point that I jokingly say that I got some amusement from in that movie was seeing Manny on Greg's head as Greg like runs through the forest. It's just a funny visual thing to have still there for the entire time. But like I forget everything about the animated film. Meanwhile, I remember so much of the live action ones because I grew up on those so much. I was like, I think I was in like third or fourth grade when the first film came out.
Also feel like with the original films, it also kind of has to do with like when they came out and during that time.
Totally.
Because I feel like if they did have the same cast now in like 2017, I still feel like it wouldn't have that vibe just because it's just too high quality. I feel like those were like the camera quality was too high quality. I feel like there's a nostalgic feeling to the original ones where they're like, I don't know, they kind of have I don't know, just this coming of age, early 2000s esque theme, which I can't really feel like they could recreate now.
Totally. No, but I mean, like, I think that the whole thing is like, since the Iron Began films, I feel like family films in general have been on such a decline for like live
Yeah.
action ones. Because we see people, because like, I don't know, how old were you when you like got your first phone? I need to know if I have to judge you or not.
Like, what do you mean by phone? Like a
Like,
phone that can call?
Yeah, like cuz I got my
Or like
first
just a
phone
normal, like a phone that can't call, like just a phone.
like well, when did you start like using YouTube and stuff regularly? Sorry.
I think I was 12.
Okay, that's a fine age for it. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of kids are getting into YouTube at the ages of like 6 or 7, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer, keep the kids off like the internet for as long as you possibly can, because there's some kind of a genius of like network TV. Um like watching the kids channels growing up, like Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network was such a good thing, I thought.
Yeah.
Um
I feel like starting too early is just I honestly wish I started YouTube a little later.
yeah, no, that's fair.
Just because I don't know, I feel like I would have had more time to actually experience the internet and like right off, like didn't like just explored it and like learn more things instead of just going straight into it.
I think
And I feel like
that's
kids have a really bad mindset with YouTube.
it's so valid there. But like, so my first creators that I remember watching regularly and stuff were like, Tobuscus was one of the
Hmm.
first ones. I don't know if you ever wound up watching his stuff or if that's before your time.
Does he do parodies?
He did like
I feel like I remember watching Tobuscus parodies or something.
yeah, and then I remember also around that age the Annoying Orange existing.
Yeah.
I followed the Annoying Orange onto even like I watched the show like live on Cartoon Network when they made that. Wildest
Annoying
show
Orange
to
was on Cartoon Network?
yeah, you didn't know about this?
No.
So yeah, in like I think 2011, they made a show called The High Fructose Adventures of the Annoying Orange, and I remember this because my brain has a weird thing with like memory of like bad shows.
Yeah.
And they put Tobuscus in it to play the human dude, and then it was the Annoying Orange, but it was like on TV on Cartoon Network, and it was like one of the worst things to ever be conceived.
That sounds like a fever dream. Like an
It
alternate reality happening.
it's a crazy thing that happening, but like the I don't know if did you have like an order of the channels that you went to? Because like I started off as a PBS Kids kid, and then it was Nickelodeon, then Cartoon Network, then Disney for me.
Yeah, I didn't have like cable or like I think I don't know if you needed cable to watch PBS though.
No,
Did
you
you?
didn't, but
'Cause I
yeah,
remember watching PBS though.
no, that's valid. I
Like Dinosaur Train and
my favorite PBS Kids show was Arthur.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
the
Or
fact that
what was the little burn is it Bernsteins or
the
something?
Berenstain
Bernstein.
Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was one fun, that was fun to grow up watching.
Yeah.
Um, I watched like Word Girl a lot when that was like on that's a show that I watched like into like fifth grade and stuff. I watched because I was the kind of person where I was like I would watch stuff that was like relatively younger than what a lot of people in my year was watching because parents were stricter growing up.
Oh.
Um, relatively so. It's like in fifth grade, I remember people being like, "Oh yeah," and like watching like network like dramas. And my dad's being like, "Yeah, that's too inappropriate for you," and it's like, okay. Um, I had to wait until fifth grade for The Simpsons, which I love. Simpsons is the best adult cartoon.
Wait, is Simpsons that inappropriate?
I don't think it is, especially nowadays, but like my parents thought it was more, and it took us until like fifth grade for me to be able to watch it. And you know the older sibling thing where the younger siblings get it at the same time
Yeah.
as you. Um, it's so funny because like when in high school I started watching like South Park, that
Yeah.
same thing happened for my brother who's like 2 years younger than me, and it's like, the heck
Why
you're,
wasn't I allowed to watch it then?
huh?
No, I feel like you would think, Why wasn't I allowed to watch it 2 years ago?"
Exactly. Dude, being an older I know that you're also like you're more the middle child, but it's like being an older sibling means that you deal with everything.
Yeah,
We
well, I'm the older sibling now that my brother moved out, or like moved out quite a bit ago, and
yeah.
I always say like to my twin brother, I'm like, I'm 19 minutes older, bro,
Yeah. No, so you definitely get the older sibling card
and
on
I
that.
just kind of have a more leader vibe, if that makes sense. I feel like you probably do too.
I the shenanigans of mine and my brother's relationship is me being the kind of person who's like, "Ooh, let's do this." And then my or not let's do this, but then also my at school I was the child in like high school who was like very talkative to like everyone, and my brother just wanted
Yeah.
to sink by the walls and to relax, and unfortunately, he could not. He got the "Oh, you're Phineas's brother" from like every teacher.
Yeah. I kind of related to that, or at least when I went to school. Like
Yeah,
my brother was yeah, always kind of like awesome A's brother, because that was like when I was starting like videos. I would want to see how it would be to go to school now that I have like back then I had 100 subs and they were all freaking out and watching my videos.
yeah.
I think it was more to make fun of me, but I would love to see their reactions to like me having 100,000 and like making a lot better videos back then.
Well, it's
Like
like the whole thing is, by the way, like one of the reasons I invited you is I actually like genuinely enjoy your videos a lot. They're some of my favorite like cartoon like based things. Like honestly, I think yours feel a lot more like personal and a lot bit more based on your own opinion than a lot of
yeah,
them. And like the whole thing is, I go for the more like video essay like analysis of like
yeah,
my whole shtick that I've been fiddling with is the film's impact on culture as a whole for film. But like
yeah.
I always appreciate ones where it's way more opinionated and stuff. And yours are positive, which is so nice in this landscape of people being
Yeah,
negative to everything that ever is made.
Yeah, I feel like this might be like mean to like say because it's hypocritical of me, but I feel like everybody thinks like they're a movie critic now,
Yeah,
and that's like really biased for me to say because I am literally doing that. But I feel like even people who don't even make video essays have now like just with the rise of YouTubers like me and just making movie reviews. I feel like everybody is starting to be a little more critical of every single thing. Like with when Luca and like Turning Red like first showed it, like people were like, "What the heck?" And like
yeah.
5 years ago, anything that Pixar would say they were gonna make, everybody was like in on. They were ready for.
I feel
So
like
I feel like everybody's just getting a little more critical about even the good things.
yeah, no, but the thing too and stuff is you get to see like so many takes are like so bad on things. Like I think it's
Yeah.
so funny seeing takes where someone completely misunderstood like the thing with the movie. Um and like my whole thing was Turning Red was one of the most misunderstood movies ever because it's a very cringe movie, but like cringe in a respectful like good way.
Yeah, on purpose.
It's such a like a set. I love like secondhand like embarrassment movies honestly and stuff sometimes where it like feels relatable. Because one of my favorite films is Eighth Grade, which is literally set.
Yeah.
You've watched it?
Yeah. I
Let's.
watched that movie like 2 times.
I love it so I love it so much. Bo Burnham's one of my favorite creators ever, and I think the thing with that film is it's so genius.
And it's so real. Like like the movie feels so real just to everything. Just like the
It's
feelings it captured.
it's so unique too in just so many ways because like not what else like captures social anxiety in that way. It's like
Yeah.
I feel for the characters in like every moment of that thing. Also one of the most wholesome dads in film. I
Yeah.
love his role. Elsie
I honestly like she was valid for not being nice to him. Like all
yeah.
teenagers get like
Oh,
that, but I did kind
totally.
of feel bad for him.
How it's so funny because I feel like we get to the state where so often adults like are always like, "Ooh, this teenage character is so whiny." Dude, that's how teenagers are. Hormones.
Yeah, like
Gosh.
what were you doing when you were a teenager? And they're like, I was smoking weed.
Yeah, no,
Like you were
exactly.
way worse.
um,
Like I remind my mom when she like gets mad at me like I'm up at like 1 a.m. I'm like,
yeah.
"Mom, like I'm up at 1 a.m. watching Finding Nemo. You were up at 1 a.m. doing drugs." Back
For real though, like my parents and stuff, it was the whole thing where it's like my mom was the kind of person who did like a lot of stuff because it was the 80s. That's just how things
Yeah.
were. Um,
And she's fine now, so
Yeah. No, it's one of those things where it's like it's funny though because like she's the kind of person where my parents are really early to bed people. Well, my mom's really early to bed. Like she'll be in bed by like 7 p.m. often,
yeah.
which is like
My
insane to
mom just
me.
went to bed while we were recording this, and
That's
I was like,
fun.
What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm tired." I'm like, "Mom, I'm
Oh,
recording a podcast. I'm gonna be talking." And like, I chose like it was during when I got my room. It was during the time where I was like getting a little more consciousness of like
yeah.
robbing and like death. So like, I chose to have my room near her. Like I don't even know why. Just it was just like So now I have to like be quiet all the time, and like now I've like matured a lot. So I'm like, "Ugh, I should have picked the downstairs room.
Your
This
room's also
sucks."
right across from shares a wall with your parents' room, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine did too when I was
And
living
like
at
my mom's a light sleeper, so even
same.
like if you step, she's like, "What are you doing up?" I'm like, "Mom, I need to go to the bathroom." She's like, "Well, if you were asleep, you wouldn't have to go to the bathroom." And like she's super nice, by the way. Like I
Yeah.
exaggerate everything. Like
No, that's so valid.
that's the worst she's been, and like for most parents, they're a lot worse. So she's
Yeah.
still cool.
No, my mom was that way where it was like even in high school, right, until like the pandemic, it was be in your bed by like 10 p.m. at night. That's their kind of idea for like a bedtime.
Yeah,
Senior year, it's like when you're 18, it's like less so. Um, but it's like growing up and stuff, it was like be in bed, like get my homework all done by that point. And it's like,
yeah,
okay. And the thing for me, by the way, is I can't go to bed like listening to silence. I listen to video essays as I go to bed, like
yeah. Music, video essays, those are.
you have to like distract yourself when you're going to bed because it's like my brain. I was always the kid who I hated nap time. I don't know if you were that way
Yeah,
too. I feel like you and I are kind of similar in a lot of these ways, which I
yeah,
appreciate. You were a fun random. This is oh my gosh. I still love that this. I invited you like on a whim and this worked out
yeah.
so well. By
But
the way, so far.
I get one thing to say with watching video essays is sometimes you get too invested and then never go to sleep. That's like with
Yeah.
me. Like I'll put on something to kind of drown it out, but then I'll get way too invested and
hmm
then like stay up until 1 a.m.
I usually do ones that I've watched before. Like I keep like a watching playlist and stuff
Mhm.
often. And so like ones that I love is like Defunct Land's one of my favorite video essayists. Like those documentaries are so good. Have you ever watched that?
Wait, what'd you say?
Defunct
The
Land, have you watched them?
well, now I'm going. Now I'm gonna look into it. I don't think I
Defunct.
have.
Hang on, I'll send you the link. They've got like one of the best.
Oh, Defunct Land. He did
Yeah,
like the free pass, or it was like the fast pass
yeah,
video.
that's one of the coolest documentaries ever. But like their miniseries on Jim Henson is one of the most incredible documentaries ever released to YouTube.
Oh, I didn't even know they had that. He that did that. I watched
It's
the last video I watched of him was yeah the Garfield one, which is the most recent one. I
oh
really
wow,
like that
that yeah, no, that one was fun. Um, they're like making another like massive documentary right now. On like on like I think Disney Channel or something from the tweets
one.
have been
Oh,
like hinting.
yeah, that's gonna pop off.
Oh yeah. Well, we're in the age where it's like I see creators all the time like releasing like 7 hour like video essays on shows, and I'm like, what the heck?
I can never. I do
I
not have the
no,
patience. I can't think of something for more than a month. Like at that point, I'm like sometimes I have to rush videos quickly because I'm like I'm so sick of talking about the oddballs or Phineas and Ferb. Like even if I like it, I just can't.
dude, Oddballs was such a like a weird show because I actually enjoyed it more than I was expecting, to be completely honest.
I get that. It was good for a YouTuber show. I'll
It's
say that.
the no, the only YouTuber show that I think is better is like, have you seen Final Space?
Oh, I think I've heard of it. Is that like
Where
from
Olin
Alden
Rogers?
Rogers? Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched
Um,
him for a little while. I don't know what he made that made me watch him at first. I'm trying to
I never
don't
watched
remember.
him, but I watched the show because
Uh,
animation in the like 2018ish vibes. Um, but no, the show, it's like I had a lot of issues with it, to be completely honest, but it still was better than I was expecting. Like the big thing is like I love the Odd Ones Out as like a creator and stuff. Watched him so much growing
yeah.
up. He cannot act.
Yeah. I've I got a little embarrassed from his acting.
Yeah, no, it's like I enjoy story timers like so much. I love like Jaden's videos. Let me explain studios.
Yeah.
I watched Haminations a lot.
Yeah, even though I don't really care for Hamination's humor and with like the whole killing part over and over and over again, I think he's really talented.
I
And I
haven't
feel like he
seen
cares a lot more than
I
a
haven't
lot of
seen a lot of
YouTubers.
his like newer stuff. All I know is I remember that I subscribed to his Patreon for a little bit when he got hacked on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that randomly happen. Um, but
Uh
but that was a moment. But like I related because of the short video because I am a short person. I'm like 5'5",
Yeah.
statistically short. I and I love it that way. Being short's awesome.
Wait, I'm trying to find this video.
You're
Is
doing
it
fine.
I look is it the I look young one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good video. That got like 28 million. I'm
Wait.
like one of those people where like I kind of like look at people's views. I think it's interesting.
I think it's so interesting too because honestly, what it like sees I enjoy like I first of all I enjoy oh gosh that oh my gosh that little first part of the intro is probably making it into the podcast by accident. Oh well, it adds character. Um, but no. It's so weird they removed the earliest uploaded option that YouTube had, and that's so tragic.
Wait, what happened? Or
So you know how you could like sort by like oldest to newest for like videos? Now you can't.
wait, yeah. What? I'm just
In the new
Oh, I'm
setup, you
sick of
can't.
this layout. My other thing with this layout is why are they so big? Like every time I go on my channel, I'm like, whoa. I
Yeah.
just see all the mistakes now. I like that it was far away and I could not acknowledge the little mistakes.
No, but like it's interesting because they are so much bigger and stuff, and it's gonna change the thumbnail metagame probably. Um,
Yeah.
but it's like the whole thing for my channel, and they have rounded edges now, which I actually do like the rounded edges kind of. Um, but it's like I don't know. I feel like the whole TikTokification of every other social media platform has been kind of tragic.
Yeah. I think TikTok has like again, I'm a hypocrite because I use TikTok, but I
Yeah.
think it's just ruined everybody's patience with everything. Where I feel
No,
like
for real though.
but like there are still people who can like watch 7-hour videos on Victorious and stuff. So I think, it's just two sides where
Yeah.
like people are very impatient, and then there's people that have very lots of patience, and it's like there's no in between for that.
Well, there's now like YouTube Shorts, which by the way, YouTube Shorts has like such a bad layout on like web. It feels so
Yeah,
awkward because it's like if you scroll like any too far, it's gonna just like the minute you scroll anything, they change the video on you, and it's like no, please, I was watching this.
yeah. I don't know why anybody like I've met somebody who like watched YouTube Shorts unironically, and I'm like, wait, how? Like at that point, just install TikTok. To be honest, like that's just
Yeah,
with like I just get TikTok because that's where it started. I'm not falling into YouTube's game. YouTube's whole thing and was so important because it was videos.
right. But
They're ruining that.
the overemphasis on shorts is ruining online content in a lot of ways. I think because it's like I just feel like things are better when you can like get out your full opinions on it, make actual think
Yeah,
pieces, and YouTube's like good for that. But just the over reliance that a lot of websites are being like, where it's like actually, watch us for like 10 seconds and then switch things. Why don't you do that? And it's like no, thank you, I am good. I I think one of the sweet ranges for me, it's like I like hour long videos, but I also like things that are like 10 to 20 minutes.
yeah.
I think that's a really sweet range for things.
I feel like YouTube Shorts and with shorter content, I think it's made it too easy for people to become successful. So now
Dude,
we don't have personalities anymore like we used to
for
with
real though,
like we will never get another PewDiePie or Markiplier or Jacksepticeye or like MatPat or like big names like that. I mean, of course they're still making content, but we'll never get another one like that.
well
At
so
least if we keep these shorts things up.
I think part of that too and stuff is it's just like the whole thing within it and stuff is like the personality. I think is like were your parents that way where they were like, why were you watching people play video games when you could play a game yourself? I think it's all personality and stuff. That's
Yeah.
my whole thing with it. Um, and before people are and like my dad's the kind of person he watches football and stuff. I know that I'm
Yeah.
like roasting my parents a lot in this one, but I love them. They're amazing too. But
Yeah, I
like
mean, I did a little too. I mean, I call
it's
my mom a a druggie, but she's not. That was just an exaggeration. I don't even.
um but no, it's just a thing within it's just a thing within it and stuff where it's like I feel like YouTube's like personalities are like so important. And I
Yeah,
feel like YouTube, it's like I like it as a site, but I feel like it's losing a little bit of that like classic 2010s
yeah,
edge in some ways. And I hope we can like work to move with that instead of them just being another generic social media like thing. Like the community tab is actually like it was a good idea. I think the community tab is genuinely something that is helpful to have. I don't
Yeah.
use it much, but that's a cool thing for us to now have in our existence of the world.
Wait, I was thinking of something. Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh, one second.
Good, don't worry, I'm proud of you.
I had something like on the tick. Oh, okay. What I feel like with short content, like I know we've talked about short content a while right now, but
It's fine.
I feel like short content, like the difference between YouTube and shorts is that shorts are like more like never ending with how much you have to make, or
Yeah,
as it feels to me, it feels like it is just like with a big. If you make a big video, you can kind of, or like with movies, you can kind of like take a break for a while and like kind of
yeah,
like enjoy that. Oh, this video is gonna do good for a while. Oh, people are gonna like me because of this video for a while. But with like short content and TikTok, it's like, okay, the success of that TikTok only lasts a few days, and then you got to make another one to stay on top.
right.
Another one, another one, another one, another one. Whereas like if you make video essays on YouTube, like the Funkland, you can make like one hour long, really good video, and then kind of step back, and then come back 3 months later, and it won't affect as much because people know you're like that. But with like TikTok, you have to keep on top of it, or you just fade into the bottom. It's
You
just,
fade into the content cycle pretty much.
and
And
that
it's
like breaks your motivation a lot.
genuinely though, and it's like the whole thing. I started off this year when I like rebooted my online presence in like February. I tried to do one video essay a week, but I ultimately couldn't
Mhm.
because college,
Yep, that happens.
the
Life happens.
universal killer. um, but like it's been so hard to keep up with it. Like, so I've just been like, I'll just work on whatever project. And it's like I've lacked a lot of motivation to work on like some video essays within things. Like, but I'll get one out eventually. It'll probably be a little more serious than my other things, but it's like, you gotta
Yeah.
dabble in what you want.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like more like just open to YouTube videos. Like I feel like when I was like starting to make like, I feel like also like like success is kind of a bad thing and a good thing, because like now that like I feel a little more pressure to like keep it going and like
Totally.
keep it doing, whereas like at like when I didn't have that, I was like I put up something and like I just wish back then I just took a step back, and because like I didn't really have to.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know, I just feel like when you start to get a fan base, it's like you feel like you have to keep it up, or like people, or like I make one bad video and I think about it a lot more because I have a little more success than, like back when I started YouTube, I can make the worst video possible and never think about it again. Now
Right.
if I put the worst video on out on YouTube, or it's a little rush or one thing is wrong, I'm like freaking out. I think about it 24/7, just because it's like a more people are going to see it.
I'm
And it
assuming
just
you go.
it's
Sorry.
annoying.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, what?
that's so valid. I'm proud of you. Uh no, I feel like once you like for you cuz I don't know how fast your channel like blew up, but it seems like it went kind of it's you got like 100K subs at this point. I feel like one of
Yeah.
the weirdest things once you like have a lot of subs is probably just managing the audience part that comes with that and
Yeah.
stuff. Like Discord servers can only get you Discord servers are like such a weird concept always. Um I've got like a little baby one that I keep for like Twitch streaming and stuff. But it's like I already had like one raid once when I tried to play like League of Legends with people. I know, cringe.
Yeah.
Um, and the people decided to raid my server after, and do the toxic things that gamers do.
Yeah.
But like I feel like having public servers is always like so weird because it's like it feels like there's like 100 children probably always vying for your attention, being like collab question mark.
Yeah. And like my thing with my Discord is I don't get much like raiders. I just get more like individual annoying people, or like
Yeah,
an individual person raiding. Like recently, I've just found this influx of people just kind of like trolling and just like trying to get attention, just like the easiest way they can get.
I see in your server net sometimes it's like the Awesome May channel feels like, or I mean the Ask May, sorry, the Awesome May channel. That's your channel. The Ask May channel seems like
Yeah.
it's the one that always gets like flooded for people asking for your opinions on like
Yeah.
everything.
I like it when like I feel like a lot of the questions they ask are dumb.
Yeah,
No offense to them. They're like
no,
Burger King or McDonald's, or they how awesome are you? And like
yeah,
that's cool and all, but like, or like what's one plus one? Like, come on. It's like that's funny for like a few seconds, but this is the Ask May. I want you to ask me like content questions, or like
yeah.
And you guys don't even have to, like, just because it's there doesn't mean you have to type something. You don't have
Exactly.
to say a question, any question you can think of. I want it to be meaningful. Just like
Well,
I feel like since I made Ask May, everybody thinks they need to say a question. And so I get questions that are like, What was your last water drink?" Like just no thought into it.
it's honestly, I think it's kind of hilarious what the web like it has created with like cultures and stuff. Like everything in the Minecraft like stan culture bubbles and stuff that happens within that is so fascinating for me to see like
Mhm.
happen because like there because I feel like game okay on the gaming on the like personalities point I feel like gaming content creators are able to like keep their personalities a lot more in the new landscape.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the few exceptions because it's like if you don't have like a notable personality, you're not breaking into the gaming space on YouTube. It seems like because there's a
Yeah.
million other videos of that gameplay, but like you gotta have the spice for that those kind of videos.
Yeah.
But oh my, it's crazy for me to see like things develop and stuff. That being said, your server is actually still seemingly one of the more tame servers that I've been in. Um,
Yeah, surprisingly.
it's like they're doing good. I'm proud of them. They're trying their best. You know.
It's just mostly, like, people having one-on-one conversations, which I like right
Yeah.
now, like but then it sometimes gets into arguments over, like, nothing, and I'm like, "Come on, guys." Or, like, recently I've had somebody I'm not gonna name any
Yeah.
names, and, I'm sure they're a kid and it's all good, but I've recently had somebody, like, DMing me, like, saying that my YouTube channel was hacked, and they had that like this was like one of my friends and they said, "Hey, Awesome, somebody's telling me to give me their phone number and address and they're saying that they're
Uh.
you," and like I was a little like weirded out. I was like, "Wait, what?" They're like, "Yeah, they're commenting on your videos." And I went to my comments and like zero comments. There's no comment saying that.
Oh
And then I looked at the
gosh.
screenshot where it's like, "Awesome, send me your thing." And I was like, 0 seconds ago. So you're telling me this dude who claims that somebody is doing all this managed to refresh my newest comments when the comment said 0 seconds and it was the first comment about it. So then I like
Huh.
start getting context clues. Yep, this is the dude that's just trolling me. He's just trying to make me anxious for no reason.
Which is
and then
why would you do that? You know, it's
it's just it feels like it's like one of those things where they're fighting for your attention. Like he only did that because he knew I would do something about it. Because in like if you work on if you have a YouTube channel for like my channel was made in 2007 by my dad and like and you do YouTube for a while.
wait
Like I
two
started
thousands. That's chaos. I did not know your channel was made in 2007.
so yeah, like I just I just stole my dad's channel because I wasn't old enough.
that that's hilarious, honestly.
So to have like a channel that's been that old and like that part of my life and somebody saying it's getting hacked and stuff, it's like it creates just unnecessary stress and like it's very annoying and like they probably don't make videos so they wouldn't understand. But like I bet if somebody said your channel was hacked, it would probably make you very scared because
Oh,
we put a
absolutely.
lot of work into our videos. Video essays in general put a lot more work than gaming YouTubers who are still
Yeah,
valid, but it would probably still be stressful for them. But I feel like it's just a lot a lot of stress when you work that hard for like a month on a video and then somebody says you're hacked.
I
So and then they did it again. So
that's see, it's so interesting to see that people like think they can get away with it because like I think that they're the weird thing with web celebrities compared to like IRL celebrities, right? Is
mhm.
with IRL celebrities or like with celebrities for like movies and stuff. There's not that level of accessibility, but with the web, I feel like everyone's more accessible and stuff in general.
Yeah.
And there's some people who are like, yeah, not as accessible, of course, but like
Mhm.
it's just I think people take advantage of that, and it's like not necessarily like a full on parasocial thing, but it
Yeah.
feels like it's just because like I feel like the word parasocial relationship gets tossed around so much for like things and all
Mhm.
that jazz, but it's like it's a weirder relationship where it's like we kind of like feel like we know the person, so it is
Yeah.
parasocial. I just ran in a circle there.
Yeah, well, I also think it's like boredom and like
Yeah,
people just like have nothing to do and they just want to create they just want to just get attention and like they think it's funny, like I
yeah,
managed to do this, like it's so hardcore like with like people feel like they have to attempt the craziest stunt anything on anything for them to be get attention. Like that
yeah.
guy could have texted me about YouTube and I probably would have had a better conversation and a better friendship with him in the long run than him trolling me and getting my attention and then apologizing for it. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna talk to that dude again now.
Yeah.
So he could have just been chilling. It would have been sick. Like I've
It's
made so many friends by just them saying they talking about videos, and like I have a new friend right here just for the
aw,
podcast,
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I still love how fast, like, it was funny because we like had those first few days where we just like barely talked, but then it was like
Yeah.
I think it was like on the 27th, right, of like October, where we just like talked for the entire night, and it was like it was
Yeah.
really fun. But no, I'm trying to think of like other wild things that like exist in like the online like landscape. I feel like have you wait, so you got impersonated that one time. Have you had dealt with any other kind of imposters?
I think like one before. Like yeah, there was another one that was like being awesome, and like now I have people on my servers like kind of taking advantage of it too. Like I saw somebody naming themselves LS Mark, which is funny, but
Yeah.
like that bit gets old really quickly. It's like
Ex-
and it's also like how come you can't have meaningful conversations and be a part of this thing without having to be somebody else, you know? It's like it's such a desperate attempt for attention when you could like it's like okay, all these people are kind of like we're not really getting that much attention, so I need to separate myself from the rest of these just kids, and like I
yeah.
have to impersonate somebody. It just feels like very selfish to
So,
me.
no, that's so fair. So the funny thing is within all this, I know that I was this way. So when I was in middle school in like seventh grade, the Gravity Falls fandom was very big. That was like my first fandom and one of the few ones that I got like intensely into. I don't do fandoms anymore. That's a fun thing
Mhm.
about like realizing my lifestyle is I get into shows, but I don't really get talking the fandoms. But so, are you ready for my attention grabbing thing back in like 2014 that I did to a few
I
people?
want to hear it.
So they were live streaming, right? And the way that I got their attention, I made them all wikis, like fandom Wikipedia, like wiki sites. I made a wiki for each of the members of this like live show that I wanted to join.
Oh,
And that's how I became friends with them back then, which is wild to me now because that's one of the cringiest but like funniest things.
you
It's
see, like that's actually hardworking and creative.
no, I just made the whole thing in like uh 10 minutes and set it up
Oh,
and then just linked it into their YouTube chat because yeah. Still I think it's a more clever workaround than like
yeah, impersonating though.
yeah. I think like impersonating them, I think the only person that it's funny to impersonate is Elon Musk, but that gets you banned now. Um Everything on Twitter lately has been so wild in the funniest way to be
Yeah, I see
honest.
people are moving to Tumblr, and I'm like, come on, no,
No.
like Tumblr's nothing, no way better.
Hot take, I still think that like Twitter is the easiest site for communication out of all the social media.
Yeah,
Facebook
it sucks, but
is
it
yeah.
still has a nicer layout than most of them.
Like the whole thing is like Facebook is just where you talk stay in touch with the with family and like people you know IRL. Like
Yeah.
there's no Facebook content creators. Um that would be that's such a funny concept if anyone tried to be a content creator through Facebook.
Well, I have seen like Facebook posts with like 500 million, so.
Okay, yeah, that's impressive, but like um
But I feel like nobody's a famous Facebooker.
I know. Like Instagram's kind of one that people get on, but it's like mainly for art. I don't really like the social features of Instagram. It feels like one of the worst sites to be like social to people on.
Yeah,
And
I barely post on Instagram. I don't
same.
like it.
I like Reddit like genuinely. I think Reddit's actually like one of the most interesting social media from like talking and stuff, but it's so decentralized, which is part of why I
Yeah.
like it. So it doesn't work for what Twitter tries to do. And then like YouTube feels like kind of niche within things too. Like I don't see mainstream like celebrities deciding to make their news on YouTube community tabs.
Yeah.
That'd be funny though. Imagine if you got your news on like a YouTube community tab. Oh wait, do you? Okay, I need to ask you if you get these wild things too. Do you get those like Family Guy clip compilations, community posts, and your community thing spammed, and then they're always trying to like trying to advertise like a gambling site?
I don't know if I've seen that like on the community pet
Yeah,
post.
I think people are taking advantage of it with the community posts because I sometimes
Yeah.
get community posts where it's like, I'm trying to, I can't find like an image because I haven't like screenshotted it, but but on the community tab often it's like, which Family Guy character do you like the most or something, and it's like, guys, what?
Yeah, what happened with, like I feel like with community posts, it was, like, originally for, like, main fans, but now I feel like they're recommending, like
They totally do.
now with, like, polls and images, because I get, like, random, like, community tabs from somebody I don't even know, and it's, like, always and they have, like, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but sometimes solely on those community posts. It's, like,
Yeah,
insane. So, like, I think that's really stupid because I feel like the community tab was, like, kinda like a free Patreon for their subscribers. It was a way to, like, talk
yeah,
about, like, updates and, like, give sneak peeks. But now with YouTube introducing a way to, like, share like, if you make a community post, it might be seen by people that don't even subscribe to your channel. That just ruined the inclusiveness of it.
and I'm trying to see if I can find one of these like clips things so I can like share with you the example
'Cause
because
and I'm kinda biased here because I have done, like, polls before to kinda, like, ump up just because it is kind of addicting. Like,
yeah,
you kind of fall into, like, the even the things you dislike with, like, shorts. Like, I bet if I watch a short right now, I might get a little addicted. I bet if I get on, like, TikTok, I might get a little addicted because it is addicting, to see those
yeah.
numbers, but it's, like, just for a little while. It is.
I
'Cause I got, like, a community tab with, like, 200,000 votes, and I just kept refreshing. It was so crazy. I was like, "Whoa."
one of the people that I keep getting community tab is community things out of, even though I don't like his content is have you seen Veilski Bum?
Oh my god.
The least and I don't like to get mean, but I'm sorry. The I think he's the like the single content creator in the cartoon community who puts the least effort into everything that he does.
Yeah, I don't think that's mean. I think that's warranted, and
I
I'm surprised he hasn't figured that out yet.
well
Or maybe he
so
knows, but it's just
not gonna lie, I was hating on him before it was cool. He wasn't that Gravity. He wasn't one of the. Everyone in the Gravity Falls community that I was in. So the other weird thing with that group, right, is the group of the fans that were in that crew were the
Mhm,
anti Stan's twin brother theory group, which is we were wrong factually now.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's but like we all hated Vale's like Gravity Falls theories because they're so low effort. It's insane.
Yeah, I feel like he's just, like he takes, like, one article and makes, like, 4-minute videos daily, and it's, like, one of those things where it's, even, like, in my a video I'm working on, I say character design can be too little and too much. I feel like he is definitely too much. He uploads way too much.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any of his videos special. It doesn't make him a well-known creator if he posts every single day about oh my gosh, they changed a spec in this new Krispy Kreme donut box
Yeah.
character or cereal box. And, like, none of them are, like he has such a monotone voice where it feels
It's
like he's a robotic fan of everything.
well, so back when I knew him in the knew of him in the old day, right? Um, he like literally with his like oops, gosh, I just nearly had an. I hope Nickelodeon do not copyright claim that. No, but like it's like he back in the olden days, he wasn't even using his voice in videos. It was just text videos that went on the screen, which was wild. And it's like it's those clickbait things on like every bit of news, like how they were talking about like the Cartoon Network like death and stuff that was happening, um, and
Yeah.
it's like I just think the thing with news is you gotta make it like short. You gotta make it like to the point.
Yeah.
I don't know, like doing it like nonstop. I feel like always is just not a good cycle for any content creator to be in.
Yeah, and it comes off as it very comes off as him being desperate with his videos. With every day being about and it's like not everything needs a new news article, you
Yeah,
know? Like Sausage Party is returning in new series is 3 minutes long with
yeah.
we haven't even gotten anything about it. Like you don't need to make a video yet.
It's
It's like
like
he makes videos way too soon for no reason. And like I tweeted something saying not making content for a day is this man's greatest fear.
I think it's a thing where it's like and the whole thing is like I don't like being negative in general towards like other content creators and stuff,
Yeah.
but I make the exception I think for him only because it's like oh like so the whole thing. Have you watched Izzy's? Have you seen any of her things? She did a video on the Norm of the North like miss the Norm of the North Twitter account.
Wait. I think I'm searching up this. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, what's their name? How do you
Izzy's, I think it's Izzz or YZZ, I think. You've probably seen like
Oh
her
wait, are
video.
they the one that does like makeup every video? Like
Yes.
has makeup, like cool makeup on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched their video. I think it was on like what was the video I watched? It was about like I watched the Club Penguin video and
Oh
like
yeah,
a doll video.
dude, that was so good. Clipping was such a game. Um, but no, so she made a video about the Norm of the North like Twitter account going absent,
Uh-huh.
and the very same day Vale puts out a video with that information, and it's like you just got 100,000 views. Like I
Yeah,
don't.
for like no personality whatsoever.
It's it's I think it's unfortunate and stuff within content creation for because like I think someone's personality is the most important thing to show in a
Yeah.
video. Um, well, you gotta either be entertaining or informative. Hopefully both. Uh, and that channel is neither. And I'm wishing him the best. I wish he gets better. You know, get well soon.
Yeah, cause like he likes cartoon. He could really like take like upload every 2 weeks with like a really cool video that like gets deep into it. And like it's not like he has a bad voice or
Yeah.
you know, like he
Well,
still has the opportunities. He's just like I feel like he just maybe doesn't have enough patience to make a video any longer than 3 minutes with more information. Like
yeah.
it's okay if you have like a simple topic. I'm sorry I'm talking a lot,
You're
but
fine. I don't care.
it's okay if you have like a simple topic, but you gotta dive a little deeper into it.
Yeah.
Like the thing with his videos is his videos are they're he's allowed to take one thing and make it into a full video, but you have to talk about other things, or
Right.
else what's the point if somebody can just see that tweet on Twitter or just see the thing? You don't need to make a 3 minute video about the North Twitter account. That could be
Yeah.
summed up in 1 minute in 1 second or like
No.
3 seconds. None of
I
the North Twitter lost. Boom.
No, it's so funny. No, the actual like Izzy's one on the is like a 20-minute video about the mystery and
Yeah.
stuff within it. But like the whole thing is like his thing blatantly felt like it was like copying and stuff because it's like that was
Yeah.
the news with that one bigger YouTuber and stuff. And it's like, okay, cool. You're doing this with wait, sorry. He's the bigger YouTuber than her technically.
Yeah.
And you're doing this like massive decision to just like regurgitate the topic at like such like a low rate. It's like,
Yeah.
guys, please just like care.
And
It's
with like Izzy's video, she like goes deeper into it. You know, she
yeah,
like gives you more information. Like like I said, I'm okay with it being a very simple topic, but you gotta
yeah,
like talk about more and get into how this started and where this came up, or else what might as well just not talk about it at all if you're not gonna care
right.
about it. It just feels like his channel just feels like mass production of content.
And I
Feels like
feel
a McDonald's of YouTube content.
honestly though, and it's like I feel like we get a lot of channels like that sometimes nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, hang on. I'm gonna unmute you in a second. I think I found one of those. I think I found one of those channels. Okay. You're back to being able to talk on the podcast. I had to. Yeah, this is like one of these. Like one of the channels that I was talking about with the Family Guy thing that I'm like linking to you that exists. Um, like
500,000 views.
dude, it's insane to me how these like things just get so popular because like I'm not subscribed to this channel. Why does this show up? I don't even like Family Guy. I think this show's bad. Hot take.
I think that's not a hot take. I don't know. I feel like more people should agree with that. I
It's
don't care for it.
I remember growing up and stuff. Everyone was always like, "Oh, Family Guy's better than The Simpsons." What? No, The Simpsons has care put into its characters. Family Guy's
Yeah.
characters are there to like
And
be
they're
there.
ugly.
Yeah, no, the animation style is not good. Um, and the whole thing is, I actually do respect Seth MacFarlane a lot. That man can sing like so well.
Yeah.
Um, that brings it back to like sing. Like he, it's funny because I actually liked the mouse. Like he was a jerk, but it was like fun seeing Seth MacFarlane singing in that role. I
Yeah, those the My Way segment. Oh my gosh,
dude,
the best
I stand by it.
musical.
Like Sing had some really good music videos built into there.
Yeah.
At the end, um, the best show though for music videos and stuff, is have you seen The Umbrella Academy?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love the way The Umbrella Academy does every one
I
of
was
the
expecting you to say something animated, so I was trying to think. I was like, wait.
plot twist.
I
I
was like,
know. Surprise, we don't talk about animation now. Um, but no, the whole thing with that show is they integrate so many other like music things well that I wish other shows did that more because I think integrating music into shows is super important.
Yeah. Wait, they did animation in Umbrella Academy?
No, but like
Oh.
it integrated its like songs in for music videos and stuff. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
so many
Music
you
definitely
go.
enhances, shows. I always love when there's, like, a cool song that kinda fits the
Even if you
thing.
get like a pop song, I think a lot of people like going into the like the whole negativity thing. I think people hate on like pop songs being in things in general, but I think
Yeah.
there's ways to work pop songs in that kind of work, and it kind of
Yeah.
does date movies, yes. But honestly, I feel like how some movies kind of have like a dated feel to them in some points, where you can
Yeah.
kind of tell when it came out. Like stuff that came in the 2000s feels so nostalgic to go back to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like films that I like. Oh, you've watched Over the Hedge, right?
Yeah. I
That
kinda
movie
remember
I
it.
think uses pop songs better than almost every other animated film because it's just a Ben Folds rocking the soundtrack so hard.
Yeah, I think I accidentally criticized it in one of my videos, like, where I was, like, talking about forgettable movies.
Fair
But,
enough.
like, like, a lot of people, like, commented, "What do you mean Over the Hedge?" And I'm like, "Guys, I don't dislike Over the Hedge. I think it's a good movie." The video's about forgettable movies, not bad movies.
Yeah.
Like, everybody took me saying forgettable as automatically bad. There are so many forgettable things that are good.
Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to think for this year because I I don't remember to be honest a lot of like the good films that I saw this year. My favorite film of the year's been Nope. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I've seen, like, okay, I may have skipped through, like, 30 minutes, which was a terrible idea.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
I
lie
don't
to
know
you.
why I
Yeah,
did that. I think I was just like it was like one of those days where I was like, "Okay, I'm done waiting on things. I'm just gonna get to the climactic part."
yeah.
Like, I sometimes just get tired of, like, all the waiting for something to happen. So sometimes I'll just skip to the middle and, like, just jump into the thrilling parts, which is, like it's a bad idea in the long run because like,
Yeah.
I missed so much good parts and
I saw the movie for the first time in a 4D theater in New York City on one of my off days from working this summer, which was fun.
that
Um,
sounds awesome.
it was exciting as heck. But like films that I liked this year and stuff. Like I don't think the bad guys is necessarily super memorable in a lot of ways. Like the animation is really good, but I don't remember too much about the characters past like Wolf. And I
Yeah.
like this. I like the scene of like him and the mayor girl. I think she the mayor in that movie.
Wait, Diane Foxington?
Yeah, that's the mayor, right?
I think wait, is it? I think so. Mayor bad guys. Mayor bad guys. Hi podcast. Thank you for this awesome listening experience while I search up something on Google.
You're doing
Good.
great.
I don't know who this guy is. There's some random dude popping up. I just checked Netflix because I know they added bad guys on there, and I was making sure it was at least in the top 3, and it's in the top 2. So this is awesome.
No, that movie looks so stylish, by the way. Like I'm between that and Puss in Boots. I hope that DreamWorks finally gets like its renaissance soon because DreamWorks
Yeah,
was so lacking in the latter 2010s.
yeah, I've noticed that. Like,
Like I felt like within it for them. So oh wait, you unpopular opinions. Okay, you ready for one of mine? I don't
yeah.
really like the third How to Train Your Dragon movie. I think the side characters kill the movie.
Huh, huh, huh. I've agreed with most of your takes, but
I love Toothless and that part's good, but the film's
yeah.
like a 5 out of 10 though because the side characters are even more annoying in it. And I just didn't click with it on a rewatch. Um, I'm sorry.
Okay, hot take. I haven't ever really cared about How to Train Your Dragon,
No,
and
I
I
mean
don't
like
and I don't care massively for Kung Fu Panda, and I know that's like a terrible thing to say. Like I like like there, it's one of those like another. I say it's one of those things all the time, but it's one of those things where like I appreciate it, but like
yeah.
I just can't get into it. Or I want to get into it, but I just can't.
My little brother texted me out of the blue like last year and was like, "Hey, watch Kung Fu Panda again. It's so good." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll watch it soon." And that's a series that I do want to give a retrospective to eventually. I met someone came into my film class as a guest speaker who wrote for the Kung Fu Panda Dragon like new TV show on
Whoa.
Netflix, which is wild.
Am I talking to a future like director right now?
Well, like we get guest speakers on, he was one of the only guest speakers. You remember my name? My name's Phineas. It's I kind of have that
Yeah,
going for me in like every interview because it's like, what other Phineases do you know?
yeah. Wait, but like, do you want to be a director? Is that like
I
your like
I
what's
want to
your
be a
goal?
writer primarily, but directing would be
Oh,
really cool. I'm directing my own film at the moment,
because it
so
sounds like you're like actually doing stuff. Like so, like I like talking to people like that who are like you know like it's like I'm somebody who like says I want to do stuff, but it takes me a while to get into it. But I'm like I'm still 16, so I got a little time. So it's I feel like it's really cool to talk to people
you're
who are
doing great
actually
for at your age, honestly.
yeah.
I think
But I'm
talking
talking about
about
like like actually like doing film stuff outside of YouTube, like doing
yeah.
stuff outside of YouTube, which is my goal. But
No, my whole thing that I've said to myself is like, oh, if film doesn't work, I could like dabble in the online thing because it's like the states that I'm from aren't really states for like film, so it's like I need to find some way to stabilize like income before I can head out. I've done a lot of just I think the whole half of the joke for me at this point has been I've done a lot of wild things.
yeah,
Like I told you at the Mr. Beast thing randomly that
yeah,
happened, which is like what um
yeah, that's pretty insane.
it's
I didn't even like trust you at first. I was like, wait a minute.
I had I it's funny because my audience is not getting the photo. They can seek it out if they want, but I think it's I honestly think that's one of the funniest flexes that I've been able to say at my college since it happened. My college got Mr. Beast Burger recently. We got one in our like
Oh,
food court ish area, which is funny because it's invading everywhere. Good chicken sandwiches there though. Like,
yeah, I do not want to try Mr. Beast Burger. I'm scared. I've
yeah.
seen like so many pictures of it just looking terrible.
Are you a beef or chicken person?
Maybe like both, to be honest.
I
Sometimes it depends on the day.
I'm primarily chicken, but like some beef things are like they hit differently sometimes.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, no. No, but oh my gosh, so yeah, no. I'm thinking the whole thing with DreamWorks, right? So wait, what's your take on the Shrek movies, by the way?
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that like I don't really care for the Shrek movies. I
I
recently watched Shrek 2, which I really like, but yep, it's kind of in the I my main thing with DreamWorks is like I can't really get into their movies. Like I appreciate them, but
no
and like with Shrek, I feel like it's too a little overrated. I feel like people hype it
that's
up too much.
That's so valid. Honestly, that's honestly part of why I made the joke on my or not the joke, but like the decision on my Shrek perspective to give Shrek 4 the top the best Shrek film title because I think it gets referenced and like mentioned way less than Shrek 2 and 1 and it's as good as those movies. Because the whole
Yeah.
thing is when a film's pop culture osmosis like the Shrek movies have, I think they kind of do like lose that charm when you're watching them again, where you like know all
Mhm.
the jokes, all the good bits. Like, yeah.
Unless it's a Lego movie. I
Oh,
could rewatch the Lego movie forever.
Lego Movie's great. I saw Lego Movie 2 for the first time somewhat recently. That was good. I still need to see Lego Ninjago though at some point.
What are your thoughts on Lego Movie 2? Do you think
I thought it was really good when
because
I
I
watched it
know a
again.
lot of people didn't like that one,
No,
which I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't think it was bad either, to be honest. I thought there was a lot of like elements that the film did that were really funny and stuff, and I like the song and stuff. Like the song that the villain sings, there it's or not the villain, but like the "I'm totally not evil" song is
Yeah, that was
sticks
funny.
out. So it's I like it better than other things. Phil Lord and Chris Miller kind of have like a golden touch for their franchises.
Yeah.
And it's not I need to rewatch Cloudy with the Chance Meatballs too, but I didn't like that one compared to the first one growing up.
Mhm.
But I did like the Lego Movie too, so that's kind of a win for that. The other Lego thing that I watched is I watched the show of Ninjago a lot growing up.
Yeah. I would definitely want to do a video on Ninjago.
I
I need to rewatch it.
I just remember like the reveal of like Zane being a robot always like being so good as a kid.
Oh yeah, I was shocked.
I feel like it's so funny because when you're a little kid, you like never understand like the plot twists that are happening in movies as much, and then when you're an
Yeah.
adult, it's like, huh, that yeah, that happens.
I also remember with like Ninjago that I remember it looking way better than it
Oh
did.
yeah, no.
'Cause I recently watched it. I'm like, I have to watch 10 seasons of this to do a video, and probably like whatever second spinoff they did with like Ninjago Crystallize. But like the animation for the first seasons, I'm like, wait, I remember this like looking way cooler. But I was like 10,
Did did
11, 9.
did you? So I know that you have like a twin brother, but I'm assuming, did you have any like cousins that are around your age? Because like I had cousins who were, both of them were in my brother and mine's year, like respectively, and it was always funny because we always like acted out like playing as the characters on like outside in their yard, which is funny. That and then like I grew up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012 was my TMNT show. I don't know if you watched that.
I think maybe. I need to
Um,
watch the new TMNT series. The
Rise.
animation looks amazing. Yeah.
Oh no, that
And the
looks beautiful.
movie, I need to watch the movie.
I heard it isn't. I think I heard something about the studio behind that doing one of the next Avatar projects, which I'm excited about.
Did you hear that Seth Rogen's making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated movie?
You know, I can't wait for Chippendale Rescue Rangers 2, where they actually decide it's not gonna be about the Rescue Rangers, but it's like gonna be a team up movie of all of Seth Rogen's characters. That okay, I'm not gonna lie, that bit in that movie got me. Like the fact that they just put all of Seth Rogen's characters together, I thought was actually kind of funny. Um, Such a unique voice for a person. I think it's so funny because I'm really curious how his Donkey Kong performance is gonna be.
Yeah. I have like I think it I'm one of those people that kind of think the Mario movie is gonna be good. Like
I'm
everybody's like on Twitter saying it's gonna suck. Oh, it's not gonna be that good. It's Illumination, and in me in the back of my head, I'm like, it's really good. And then another thing, I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, this movie's gonna flop." I'm like, okay, it might be a bad movie, but
yeah
this is Illumination and this is Mario. It's
yeah
not gonna flop
no
even a
that
little bit.
it's not
It's gonna be
gonna.
a billion. It's gonna be a lot of money
Well,
made.
and the thing within it and stuff too is like I actually like think the animation is like super impressive.
Yeah,
I think Jack Black's voice for Bowser works and stuff. Like, what other celebrity would they get that would be doing it as fun of a job? And then like also I just think it feels way more epic than the average Illumination film like stakes. Um,
yeah,
which is honestly something that the companies kind of needed because like none of their because they I think on average do like lower stakes films than the other studios. Um,
yeah,
like Pixar, I guess, also kind of does lower stakes things sometimes. But it's always very character driven. But Illumination doesn't have the character driven nature to like back that up. And then like
yeah,
there's Sony Pictures Animation, which where the direction they're going, I love how cool their films have been going. That studio, I can't believe that I love that they're building themselves into being like one of the best studios alive, and it was after the
yeah,
Emoji Movie. Oh,
and being like really different too.
oh, this is one of my other hot takes. The Emoji Movie is not nearly as bad as anyone else as people say it is. Like it's a bad movie, but it's like not the worst animated film to ever exist, like people say. It's just very generic.
Okay, that's where you're wrong. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
okay.
Kind of. I mean, okay,
I
huh? Let me just digest that.
I I think it's a really really bad film. Like don't get me wrong, but it's like everyone was saying, "Oh gosh, this is the worst thing ever" in 2017 when it came out. Um
Yeah, there's definitely probably way worse movies out there.
um it's the same studio that did the Smurfs. That I think that film was probably flat out worse. Don't know if
What?
you
What?
wait. Do you like the
You are
Smurfs movies?
you are. What does he say in South Park? You're. What is it? He says something about balls. Your butt. No. What does he say?
I don't
Your.
know.
Oh, he says like, son, you're bursting my balls, man, or so. Oh, you're busting my balls, man.
Wait, did you enjoy the Smurfs movies growing up? I
Kinda.
because
Yeah,
I
I
enjoy, no,
did.
I enjoyed them growing up and stuff too. To be completely honest, I just I recently rewatched the Smurfs because why not? And there was just nothing there with that movie. Do you ever get
Feel like
that?
I might still like it if I rewatched it. That's what I'm afraid of.
I think that there's some stuff that's still fun within it. Like Gargamel's are really fun and stuff, but it's like I don't know. I think one of the videos that I've been playing around is going into like the anatomy of like live action makes cartoon versions. Like
Yeah.
I rewatched Yogi Bear from when I was growing up, the like live action one of that, which was
Oh.
bad. That's such a lifeless movie. They're
I didn't.
so
That
got
movie scared me. I didn't.
there's so gosh darn many films from when I was growing up. It's crazy. But do you ever go to those like free streaming services and see the bottom of the barrel like animated films that they're always peddling?
Kind of like the Walmart like box of movies.
Yes. So one site that I've found interesting to check out always is a site called Tubi, because if you go into
Oh no.
yeah, if you go into the animated movies and you scroll down a while, you get into these like absolute Pixar knockoffs that because like
Yeah.
those sites pick up like anything that they can get their hands on.
Yeah. If I ever meet like somebody ask, I don't think there's a certain I don't think anybody I know would ever use Peacock.
I use
Freaking
Peacock.
okay, except for you.
I only use it
To
mildly to
be
watch like new releases because like but
yeah, I
Peacock.
just watched the free like I know there was like a Minions movie on there for free, and I watched that for some
s-
research.
See, I think Peacock's honestly Peacock's the worst of the major streaming services.
Yeah,
It's Peacock that's at the very bottom. I think after that it's probably HBO Max at the moment because HBO Max just is. I don't like them as a practice, but they have like a lot of good movies. And then like
yeah,
I like Paramount Plus to be honest. They actually have a lot of like Nickelodeon. They have like all the Nickelodeon shows.
yeah. There's now that you're saying it, there's so many streaming
There's too many.
services so quickly too.
Dude, we're I think we're about to watch one of the major like film studios collapse within itself because of like the amount of these streaming service endeavors because they're trying to pump out so many original shows onto these platforms when in
Yeah,
reality it's
I
not good.
saw I
Hmm?
saw Netflix say that they want their own Star Wars, and I was like, okay, now they're trying to force things. Now
Yeah,
they're trying to force success. It's like the guy that was creating Star Wars, he didn't think about creating a masterpiece or like a full like a blockbuster hit and a crazy franchise. He
right,
just like started making it, and that's why it became so popular. So the fact that Netflix is going at it thinking we need the next big franchise,
right.
it's just so selfish and just annoying, and and if they think about it like that, it's not going to be a big franchise because it's just going to come out corporate and
Look, you
just
watched
like the Grinch movie.
yeah, no, you watch the minute that Stranger Things ends, Netflix is gonna do something with that
Yeah,
property again. Because that's all that people are doing with IPs and stuff. Because it's like I feel like IPs feel so worthless to companies. Where it's just like I feel like it's so hard to get like original films to have like that audience to become franchises because they're focusing so much on IPs. And like I'm sad because they're not even using some franchises right. Like I wish there was more Muppet stuff being made today, but like
yeah,
Muppets like has been getting like minimal content. We're getting like the new Mayhem show on like Disney Plus about like the Electric Mayhem band, but that's like it. Oh yeah, one of the other guest speakers that I had was the editor from Muppets Haunted Mansion.
what?
Yeah, the
Well,
person who edited
you need to
that.
stop telling me this because now I'm like rethinking me being on here. You got the Muppets
I just
editor.
randomly met them in class. You're cool. You're accessible. I can trap you in a Discord call. I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, I was gonna say was so with Stranger Things, I feel like it's way too like they're way too it's way too popular for them to just end on season 5 and never do
Yeah.
anything. They definitely have something planned. I don't think Netflix would ever allow that to end this early. You know,
Well,
I mean, it's been 6 years, but they're definitely planning on doing something afterward, and
they're
I
gonna
think they've talked about it.
they're totally gonna like House of the Dragon it, where like HBO the minute Game of Thrones ended, they like were like,
Yeah,
okay, new show. Um,
Be- because one of the creators said that they told Finn Wolfhard the spin-off series they have in mind, and he was
it's
the only one that knows.
it's wild to me the fact that we're gonna be seeing this with like every major thing, and like even though like so many like original shows like get canceled just like for no good
Yeah,
reason, I'm still mad on like Olin Artist show Final Space was like so I watched only the first two seasons, but it's like so good. And then the network knocked it off for tax write offs, which is the stupidest way to ruin any show.
yeah,
Because like why would you ever like take a momentary profit for a show to never be able to be seen by anyone again
yeah.
legally? I
There's so many things that they're hiding that could be successful.
It genuinely though, it's like I feel like the algorithms on these like sites don't work properly to like show the new things. It's always
Yeah.
about ooh, what's popular, what's gonna get the eyes, and I feel like it's so weird that we're letting like algorithms decide so much of what we're watching.
Yeah, and I think Mitchell's versus the Machines was kind of done dirty with Netflix at first, at least.
I
Just I'm surprised I never went to. That would have been so cool in theaters.
It
Such a
would have
good.
been, but I think it was more done dirty by the pandemic.
Yeah.
Um, I oh my gosh, no, that movie literally is still like the one of the funniest animated films I've ever seen. Um,
They need to sponsor you. Like you're making me want to rewatch it.
thank you. No, but like Prancer belongs to the canyon now. I'm trying to like I think I've laughed more in that movie than I have in like any other movie that I've ever seen, which is part of why I like love it. I'm so excited for the new Spider-Verse films though.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. They already have two planned. I don't understand that.
I hope
They haven't even finished the next one.
I hope
So how
that
do,
they don't like ruin the franchise and make like too many of them that they can't keep up with. But I like the style and stuff that they're going with, and
yeah.
I like that a lot more animated projects are moving to that more stylized style. Like, did you watch Arcane?
I watched some of it.
Like, I
I should
love.
watch more.
Yes, you should. I love the animation style of that show so
Yeah.
much.
Looks so cool.
It's like it's so funny because like even some TV shows are getting super stylized. Like I watched like when you, I've not watched the actual show, but like when you talked about the Big Nate show, like that animation looks so good.
Yeah.
Did you read the books of that growing up?
Oh yeah, I read that. I think I read that more than Darwin Beacon. I read that a lot.
I honestly, I thought those books were like so good and stuff, and the whole thing is like Nate grows so much more than Greg Heffley does in those
Yeah.
books because like Greg Heffley does not grow at all in the books as a person. He's the
I still
same.
can't get over the tower joke if you ever heard about that.
Oh, tower joke in what?
In Big Nate,
Oh, what happened?
they made a 9/11 joke.
The heck?
And it's so out of pocket. It's like
Um,
but it's not like it's like, South Park where it kind of gets away with it.
yeah, which is funny. It's so funny for me though, because like Nickelodeon shows, it's so weird because like I have not even watched this. I watched a little bit of like Camp Coral, and that show's also so bad. Wait, oh my gosh, why? But honestly, the that book series was so much sharper and stuff. The creators from my home state of Maine, which is funny too. Um,
Yeah.
Maine is home of horror clowns, him and a few other things. Anyways, though, let's. You want to wrap up the podcast?
Let's do it.
Cool. Any last topic?
Um I let's like do like a little maybe advice. Like give
Yeah,
advice because I am sure like that's what a lot of people ask me all the time is like how to like what idea like advice for content.
yeah.
Which I don't know
Honestly,
if I have much to say, but I think we can think of some
I
maybe.
I think we can totally like on content because the fun thing with us is we're two sides that I think we're both looking at two different sides of the whole content creation landscape, which is kind of cool. Honestly, I
Yeah,
think a Q&A podcast would be really fun at some point.
definitely.
Um, but like I think one thing that I think how would you recommend like breaking into YouTube? Like what was your technique that you thought was helped you the most?
I think like taking something I liked and then yeah, I think that like because at first I was doing YouTube, I kind of like was doing what other people liked instead of
Hmm.
like what I liked, which is like what a lot of people kind of think like, oh, something's doing good, I gotta do this or. But one like I found it that like I started reaching more success when I started doing things that I wanted to and what I liked, like Phineas and Ferb. I did I wanted to do I liked Phineas and Ferb, so I did the reanimated of it, or I liked Pixar movies, so I started talking about Pixar movies, and that's when I think that's what people should do.
Yeah. No, that's so valid. Do you have any questions about film?
Um, how's your film going?
Oh my gosh, it's been so good. We've got 2 days of shooting done, and one day left on Sunday where I am
Is
going.
it like a short film?
Yeah, it's called
Oh.
Dice with the Devil. It's a high stakes gambling short film, which is gonna be fun. After I finished recording, I can show you some of the footage that I have if you'd like.
Oh yes, that'd be awesome.
Okay, cool. Well,
And when you said you were submitting it to a film like festival, do you
yeah,
have like any in mind?
huh?
Do you have any in mind or ready?
I have no idea which
No?
ones I'm gonna go for yet, but I'm gonna eventually
Uh-huh.
just like send it out. I think that's the fun thing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, thank you for coming on the podcast and being a great, very special guest.
Yeah, awesome.
And